Sorry, just to start here again. There will be now a decrease in the quantity supplied from Q to Q1, and then there will be an increase in the price from P to P1. Okay, since the supply of golfs is only a few, they're going to increase the price because they don't want to encourage now the consumers to demand golfs, because they put all the effort now in supplying more of the polos, because that's the one that was highest in demand. Right, so on my graph what will happen is SF will shift up and to the left hand side, because my quantity always decreases to the left and it increases to the right. So SS will shift upwards and it will shift to S1, S1. That's the only difference that you indicate on here. Okay, so please make sure when you practice your graphs, best ways of learning your graph is not like learning it, oh, there's a P there and a P1 there and a Q and a Q1 there. You must practice it by drawing it. So that's why I'm asking you as part of your homework to redraw your graphs. Every graph that you have, because this graph, they might only change the examples. They might not use golfs and polos. They might use a football and a basketball that is created at the same factory. But the principle of your graph stays the same. So supply will decrease for golfs. Alright, so when you do your homework, you're going to take these graphs again and you're going to copy them for me again 5 times. Please use a ruler. Please make sure you label all the sides properly, otherwise you're going to lose marks. Right, then complements on the other hand. In the production of certain goods, it often happens that another good is supplied. Think of milk and cream, or goose meat and feathers. So if we are producing milk, and we can actually turn milk into cream as well, depending on what the demand is. Or if goose meat is in demand, automatically we are going to have goose feathers as well. Right, so we can sell the feathers then at a lower price if they are not in demand, just to get rid of them at least. So then the producer will still make money from the feathers or from the cream in that instance. Where products are jointly supplied, the increase in demand of one good will increase the supply of another, which will cause its price to decline. We will look now graphically how they represent it. Figure 1.10 shows you changes in the demand for geese. Okay, so first of all, geese meat, see there again, the price of geese, quantity of geese in kilograms. So the demand of geese meat increased from DD to D1, and it will shift up and to the right hand side. What will happen here? The quantity demanded will increase from Q to Q1. My price will increase from P to P1. Okay, because whenever there's an increase in the quantity demanded of a product, I'm going to automatically increase my price. Okay, because my resources that I use to produce the goods are limited. I need to discourage my consumers in some way not to buy all the geese or continue to demand the geese meat. Then changes in supply of the feathers. Automatically, because I'm slaughtering all these geese, there's going to be an increase in the supply of feathers. Now, there wasn't necessarily a demand for the feathers. Okay, so I'm going to sit with all these geese feathers anyways. So now I'm going to increase my supply of the geese feathers, okay, and therefore my price will decrease from P to P1. Okay, because it wasn't in demand. What was in demand? The geese meat was in demand. But if I slaughter a geese or a goose, there will automatically be feathers. And what do we use the feathers for? We use it for duvet inners and for pillows. Alright, they are normally very expensive. So this is a nice time then to actually buy these feathers for these factories that are manufacturing the duvet inners and the pillow inners. Right, so what will happen to quantity? Quantity supply will then increase from Q to Q1, and the price of the complementary good will decrease from P to P1. Then the relationship between goods and factor markets. From the demand and supply curves, it can be seen that any change in the demand or supply of a product will affect the market of that product. Prices and quantities will change. The market for the factors involved in the production of that product will also change. For example, if there's a move away from eating junk food towards more health conscious habits, such as exercising, the demand for junk food will fall, in other words, decrease, and the demand for exercise equipment will start to increase. Think of this time we are in now. Okay, with the COVID virus going around, COVID-19 virus going around. People are trying to change their habits, to eat more healthy, to exercise more, even if we are in isolation, and to stay away from junk food. They anyways can't buy junk food because all the outlets are closed. Alright, so immediately there will be an increase for more healthy food to build up their immune systems, and there will be a decrease in the junk food. This will cause the price of junk food to drop and the price of exercise equipment to increase. Because now the suppliers see that there's an increase in the demand for exercise equipment, so they would want to sell it at a higher price. Okay, but because there's no demand for junk food, maybe we'll see after this period of incubation or isolation period is finished that the price of junk food will actually drop to make sure that people come back to the businesses and start support them again and buy their products. Okay, so on a graph it will be illustrated as follows. On my vertical axis I will have a price of exercise equipment. On my horizontal axis I will have the quantity of exercise equipment. So what happens here? There's a quantity demanded of exercise equipment that increases. So it means it will shift out from DD to D1 up to the right hand side. So if you look at quantity increase from Q to Q1, and then also the price from the supply side will increase from P to P1. Then for junk food, the demand of junk food decreases. Anyways, in this time, if you think of COVID-19 now, we are not allowed to buy any junk food because all the outlets are closed. So people are more health conscious. So the demand for junk food decrease. So therefore, the quantity of junk food demand will decrease from Q to Q1. And the price will then also decrease from P to P1 to encourage people to start buying junk food again. Changes in the factor market will in turn affect the goods market. For example, if the wage, the price of labor of builders increases at TCO construction due to union demand, the cost of building will increase and most likely increase the price of building a house. In the construction market, consumers may switch their demand to base build where prices have not yet increased. So if you want to buy a house or buy a piece of land and then build the house, you are going to look at different quotations, and you're normally going to go with the one, yes, that gives the best service but also has a reasonable price. Now in the case where the unions are involved, labor unions are involved, it means that the laborers would want more money, a higher wage. Okay, and that will affect the construction costs to build your house. Whereas with base build, there is no such thing. The workers did not demand for higher wages, so their costs might be lower. And then you will rather switch to base build instead of TCO construction to buy a house. Right, that's it for today's lesson, guys. Again, we have learned about 6 different graphs, but then also the 2 graphs for the change in the goods market. So for your homework, I want you to copy each of them 5 times. You just take your pencil and your ruler and you copy them, you draw them, that's how you practice them, and remember to label them correctly, and always label in pen, please.